Bad boys out. Here we go.
Good morning, Lakeland Community College and everyone listening on live stream. This is a special presentation of the Cleveland Radio Show. We are here with Doug from the University of Toledo. Thank you for being here today.
Pleasure. Glad to be here. I'm delighted to be here today. I'm here for the transfer fair. That's going on later on this morning.
So can you tell us a little bit about the transfer fair today?
Yeah, the transfer fair, I believe there's 20 different universities and colleges that will be present today. And what I offer, and most of us offer, is a chance for students to visit one-on-one with someone from a particular institution, asking questions about courses at transfer, completing bachelor's degrees. Also, for a lot of students now, cost is such a big factor of going to college and find out the transfer scholarships and those kind of things. So it's a way for students to kind of see the face of a college or university and meet someone. And oftentimes, I enjoy doing transfer fairs because I meet a lot of people and then develop relationships so that if they have questions, they can call me. Hey, I've got somebody I know that's there.
So is it? So you said that you attended University of Toledo. What was that like for you? Like, did you like it, or what did you study?
That was 40 years ago, early 70s, and I started out in the medical technology field, basically a chemistry major. Was going to go into work in hospital laboratories and like chemistry, and at some point along the line I ended up in chemistry and started working at a utility company in Toledo with Phil Edison, working in the chem lab, and that's been a big part of me for a long time until '97 when that First Energy came in and consolidated Cleveland and Toledo, and I ended up losing my position. I had to reinvent myself, and that's how I ended up in higher ed.
Where is University of Toledo located exactly, and how many miles is it from here?
It's about, from here, it's about 100 miles. Well, excuse me, it's about 130 miles, about 100 miles from downtown Cleveland. Located in West Toledo, so it's not downtown, but it's in the suburban area, just about 7 8 miles from downtown. Beautiful campus. We have about 20,000 students. We also have a hospital, and everything is there. It's a lot different than when I attended there back in the 70s. There's a big creek that runs through the middle of it called Ottawa River, and the school was all on one side of it, and there was nothing on the other side except the football stadium. Now the whole place is all taken over, and I'm located in the one corner called Dragon Hall.
Oh. Can you tell us more about what the campus life was like? Like, what was on there, and what could students do? Where did they go, and things like that?
Talking now or back 40 years ago?
Well, we can talk about last 40 years ago. We can talk about, like, just through your college experience point of view.
Well, it's a lot like when I was there. It's the same thing. The University of Toledo is also about 60-40, which means it has about maybe 50-50 is commuter students versus students who live on campus. So back then, just like now, there was just a ton of activities. Of course, there's the famous student union that every college has. Back then, there was a bar located in the basement. That was a popular spot for campus and for classes. There isn't now, but there were things, all kinds of student activities for whatever your likes and dislikes were. You could probably find an activity to belong to. I was involved in musical groups and had been in a high school band and was interested in that. I was also very actively involved in those days in an organization called Youth for Christ, which had a college campus organization and traveled with other students to conventions and meetings. And, they talk about the whole college experience. And today it's even more so. part of your education because it's in those relationships that you build with your friends. You keep them for lifelong. They do. They're just that special group you meet. And I have 5 kids, 4 boys and a girl, and all of them have gone through college, and they all still maintain close relationship with their friends that they develop at the college. And even though they live far apart, they meet each other once a year. They get together, stay in touch. So those activities, not so much the classroom, but the activities are vital because that's where you develop those special relationships with other individuals, maybe from other parts of the country that you normally would not meet. So if you can make that part of your lifestyle, that's good. Because nowadays I'm finding out with job positions that a lot of positions require a portfolio, that it's not all academic, but they'll look at the whole individual and say, okay, what else did you do besides go to classes? And so if you can find some time to get involved with some organizations, and there are so many of them now versus back then. I mean, you have them for ecology, you have the music side, you have all the sports if you want to be on that side of athletics. And it provides that break and that uniqueness in your life that, like I said, it's relationship, but also to get a break from all the studying.
Yeah. Do you visit University of Toledo now? Like, do you get a chance to see what it all looks like now compared to how it was 40 years ago?
Well, yeah, I work there. I am the what I'm called the adult transfer specialist is my title, but I work out of the Office of Adult and Military and Transfer Admission. And my area that I travel is Cuyahoga and all of Eastern Ohio, talking to students about transferring to the university. So I'm there, on a weekly basis. So I'm always experiencing what the university has. Right now, we're in the process of interviewing 3 individuals, of which one will be selected shortly to be the new president.
Do you have a question, Kevin?
Yeah, how does one go about transferring to the University of Toledo?
It's very easy. I had an email the other day from a student who wrote to me about transferring and had all these things, and I wrote her back and I said, no, it's just very, very simple. To transfer to the University of Toledo, basically what you do is you fill out an online application on our website. Mm-hmm. You find that at discover.utoledo.edu, and there's an online application, and the initial questions will guide you to the right application. For example, it will ask you, are you a first-time freshman? Or it'll ask you, are you transferring? Or what are your goals? Also, in the opening, they ask you your interest. Like if you're interested in a particular hobby or you're in a particular organization. And then the application comes forth, and it's pretty simple to fill out. The application fee at the University of Toledo is deferred until you actually register for a course. What's great about that is that you can apply to the university, mm-hmm. have all your official transcripts sent from all the colleges you've attended, okay. And you can even be admitted, find out what courses to transfer, find out what college you've been admitted to, and don't even have to pay a dime and make your decision. So we don't charge you up front. If you have an associate degree and graduate from an associate college, such as Lakeland, we'll then automatically waive the application fee of $40 until there is no cost at all until you actually register for a course. So you can open an account, look at the course schedules, meet with an advisor, schedule a plan, and decide, okay, well, maybe this doesn't work for me, and then we don't charge you, which I think is a really nice benefit.
Yeah, that's really cool. What are there like certain scholarships that you guys offer that can help students pay for tuition after they've been accepted to the University of Toledo? Absolutely.
We have a transfer scholarship that every student who fills out the application to transfer to the university are automatically looked at. And we have a transfer scholarship that's based on your cumulative GPI and the number of credit hours you bring in. The good thing that we offer at the University of Toledo that is unique is that particular scholarship is renewable. For example, if you came in with like a 3.2 and you bring to me around 30 credit hours and transfer in, that scholarship can be renewable up to almost 5 more semesters. And if you have a 3.75 or higher, then the scholarship, depending on your grade, and the scholarship also, which is wonderful, it is stackable, meaning if you have other scholarships, it will not be taken away. You will still get that scholarship. Then we offer to you, you have to fill out a separate application, but we offer one where if you have a sibling who's attending our university and you bring in a 3.0, we'll give you another $1,000 scholarship. That's renewable. If you have a mom and dad who are alumni of a university and you have a 3.0, we'll offer you a $500 scholarship on top of that, and all the stackable. And the university has over 100 different scholarships that you can find on our website that are strictly for transfer students. So we love and want transfer students. We have renewable scholarships, and it all can be found on our website. And I'm excited. People, individuals get excited when I say, look, when you fill your application out, you're going to be looked at for this scholarship, so you don't have to go through another application and fill all that out. So we're very transfer friendly, and we're part of a university system of Ohio, which is what like Lakeland is part of, and Cleveland State and Bowling Green and those schools. So the transfer is very, very good.
Yeah. Do you guys offer any internships at all?
Oh yes, we have in our business side, which is the College of Business Innovation. There are all kinds of internships and co-ops which are paid. Mm-hmm. Engineering has all kinds of internships and co-ops. So there are lots of opportunities for students to be experiencing internships and co-ops as part of their education. In fact, I advocate for that students to do that nowadays. Because some of the co-ops, you go, like in engineering, for example, we have it built into the program. There are 3 semesters of co-op. And the beauty of that is that you can use that as work experience on your application once you have your degree, and you can go and do you have work experience? Yeah, so I've worked at this place, this individually, and we have lots of industries and automotive side where students get experience, and that's the beauty of co-ops about that, being able to use it as work experience on your application. So you're not going and applying for a job just based off your academic record.
What programs do you guys offer that students here at Lakeland can look into? And how many programs are there?
We have currently at the moment over 240 different majors.
Wow.
So it would take a long time to, but we have we have the College of Engineering, which offers 5 or 6 different engineering tracks, including the computer and science engineering and mechanical and civil. We have, of course, the whole side of education. We can have early childhood, middle childhood, and adult and special ed. We have the whole business side with special programs. If, let's say, you want to be into entrepreneurship and want to have your own business, there's a whole major around that. There's accounting. There's all of that whole side of the business school. We have, of course, the whole biology and chemistry that's available to you. And plus having the hospital on board as part of our campus, if you're interested in the health science side, we have all the way from getting your RN to BSN all the way up, and if you want to become a medical doctor and researcher. So we offer pretty much everything. There are a few things we don't. I had a student the other day that came to me, and he had a particular interest, and I felt so bad that we didn't offer anything in it. But what I did do, and this is part of our philosophy at the University of Toledo, is I didn't say, no, sorry, can't help you. I did probably another 45 minutes with him, and we found and located that there were only 27 colleges in the U.S. that offer this program that he was interested in. Mm-hmm. And one of them was the University of Akron, and I was able to give him phone numbers and Akron information so that when he left my office that day, he had information he could continue on pursuing where he wanted to go. And that's part of what we do. If you're in our offices and it's like, okay, maybe we're not the best fit, but let me help you find that best fit. So that way, who knows, maybe someday that individual's child will want to go to school and go, hey, your university was good. So it's exciting, and my position is exciting a lot, because I meet a lot of great young people who come across my doors.
Yeah.
How much is tuition at the university?
Tuition, if you're going to be a full-time student, which is minimum of 12 hours, it's usually about $9,700 a year. We also offer what I call the 12 to 16, which is really nice. And let's say you come and you take 15 credit hours with the University of Toledo, we're only going to charge you for 12.
Oh.
So you can do, if you're progressive and want to do 16 hours, it's like getting 4 credit hours free. I'm talking about student loans and stuff. I try to talk to students, if you can do 14 or 15, and you only have to pay for 12 down the road, you will appreciate that because the cost savings that are there. So it's about $9,700 a year if you decide you want to live on campus. We have incredible dorms. The food is good. I've eaten at many of the locations. Nowadays you're not confined to just one particular dorm and one particular cafeteria. In my building that I'm located, we have a specialty coffee shop.
Oh, nice.
And so the students come in and they use their meal cards and they buy their lattes and, the little croissants, and that's their breakfast, but they can do that as part of the meal plan. And the food is excellent. I can say that. I've sampled it. I've tasted it. And that's, a big part of a college experience people worry about. Mm-hmm. But our food is good. It really is. And the dorms are beautiful. We're building brand new dorms, and we have new honors dorms. And if you come and stay for the year, then they're talking about tuition, living on campus is around $20,000 a year.
When you bring up food, what kind of food do you guys have? Like, what are the
Oh
menus?
my goodness! My goodness! We have a Polynesian restaurant. We have, and we have one of our dorms is where most of the international students are, and it's called the International Cafe, and they offer all kinds of different things, flavors. You have the traditional dorms, cafeterias, where you can walk through the line and get what you want, or do you have places where you can pick from different things. If you want to have a bowl of Raisin Bran every morning for 4 years, you can. A whole variety of all kinds of different things that I talked about the coffee shop with, bagel and a latte in the morning, if that's your breakfast. So be it. So the university has gone through great lengths on its meal plans to try to provide for a wide variety. For example, we have well over 600 Chinese students who live on our campus, and so that's a whole different lifestyle. I had an opportunity to spend 10 days in China recruiting, and China is incredible if you get to go, and the food in China is unbelievable. Yes.
Well, I'm sold. Good food, that's all that it
Yeah. Do you want to take a 5-minute break?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll be right back. This is the Cleveland Radio Show on Lakeland's Lake Effect Radio.
This is Lake Effect Radio.
The internet is for some becoming an uncontrollable compulsion.
The internet is infected.
Spreading the infection at livestream.com/Lake Effect Radio.
Lakeland Community College. Opportunity starts here. Earn your associate degree or technical certificate on your schedule. Convenient day, evening, weekend, and online classes are available at an affordable price. Visit lakelandcc.edu.
Hey Lakeland, do you have those money woes? Well, don't stress yourself out. You too can learn the #1 way to find a job. On Thursday, February 26th, there will be a free workshop to learn the best way to find a job and keep a career growing. It's from 10 a.m. to noon in room 8-1039. So hurry up and register because seating is limited. You can register at careers.lakelandcc.edu or call the service center at 440-525-7222.
Library Hours, Spring Semester, January 10th through May 10th, 2015. We are open Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Closed on Sundays. Closed January 19th, February 13th, March 7th, and May 9th. Cages to hours will be posted. Call 440-525-7069 for more information.
For one-on-one personal research assistance, make an appointment with a Lakeland librarian. Lakeland librarians offer personal help with research for assignments, projects, and papers. Stop by the library, reference desk, or call 440-525-7425 to schedule an appointment for a 20, 30, or 40-minute session. The library is located on the 3rd floor of the C building.
We are back. This is the Cleveland Radio Show on Lakeland's Lake Effect Radio, and we are joined today by Doug from the University of Toledo. Before the break, you said you had the chance to go over to China for 10 days. Can you tell us a little bit about that trip?
Yeah, that I would love to. That trip was life-changing. I had no clue that I was going 2 weeks before. I was sitting in a meeting, and they were talking about China because we were being active with China and that whole situation. And they were talking at the table about 10 people, and all of a sudden they looked over and said, well, Doug can go to China. And my eyes got real big, and I'm like, what do you mean? And the provost looked at me and said, Doug, you do want to go to China, don't you? And I said, absolutely. And we had 2 weeks to get ready. It was crazy, because with all the stuff with the, I didn't even have a passport at that time, but boarded a plane and long, almost 22-hour trip, and we went over to the North Pole. And out there, I got to see the Borealis, which was I woke up, from sleeping here, the sky was bright green. It took me a minute, and all of a sudden I looked out the window, and we were over the North Pole, and it was just gorgeous, just like you see in the pictures. Landed there, and no clue what was going on. I was fortunate that I was traveling with 4 other individuals, and one of the individuals was hired to be our personal tour guide. And a couple of the guys who were with us, gentlemen, they had been there 3 or 4 times, so they didn't want to do the usual. So I was able to ride along with the experienced group, and we went into people's homes. We traveled on 3 different Chinese airlines, ate in some incredible restaurants, and one of my favorite stories is about a couple of days I was there, we went to this restaurant out of the city of Xi'an, which has this walled fort, and we went out of it, and in this restaurant, and it was a big old restaurant. It was called the Hot Pot, and you sat at a table, the 5 of us, and the center was cut out, and then on the floor sat a propane tank, and a little rubber hose and a burner that sat above the tank. And they put a pot in there with some oils and stuff. And I'm sitting there, and I thought, what a unique place. There were all these beautiful aquariums that were around the middle, all kinds of different kinds of fish. And in China, you don't have to worry about the restaurant because everything's done with pictures. And so I'm looking at the pictures and all the different things. And I noticed on the menu there was flounder, and flounder is a delicious fish. That's that one that lays flat. And I said, okay, I will have this, and pointed to it. And in China, which is interesting, students, they start out in grade school learning English, and they spend 12 years learning English in China. So when you go there, most people understand English. And I said, well, I'd like to have the flounder. And much to my surprise, he goes over to one of the tanks, grabs one out of a tank, smashes it on the table, and presents it to me, and I'm like, wow, I was in shock because I've never thought that. I began to realize that the fish tanks that were there was tons of them. That's how they serve their seafood in that restaurant. You talk about fresh. They don't fry a lot, and they steamed it, and it was just absolutely delicious. And so I got to sample all kinds of food. In China, there's some fun things going on. The people are allowed to have little businesses in their homes. And they'll take these little bitty apartments that I would go into, and there'd be a room about as big as this studio that we're sitting in. And it would be painted gray, and they would take contact paper that looked like wood and brick and put it on the floor. And then there would be all these purses or all kinds of things. And there would be someone there, and they'd be holding a calculator. And what they want you to do is barter whatever item you wanted. And So we went into a lot of people's homes just to see what they were selling. And I was able to get a beautiful pair of real black pearl necklaces for my wife for like a cost of $14. It was just crazy. So they have a little bit of capitalism you don't find out, but the people have these little businesses in their homes. Then they hire kids to come out on the street with walkie-talkies to get people to come in. And was in Beijing and was able to go to Tiananmen Square. I traveled to Xi'an. I went to the area where all the emperors were born. Went to where the Terracotta Warriors, which is way up in the northeastern side. Shanghai is absolutely incredible. If you ever get a chance to go to a Chinese city, go to Shanghai. It's just unbelievable. And in China, on a Saturday night in the big cities, you'll hear this music coming down the street. And so we went and walked towards the music, and here was this huge, big public park. And I'm hearing Mozart over the screens, and here are thousands and thousands of couples dancing under the starlight with, just dancing. Just the food was incredible. The students were amazing. Went into a lot of high schools, community colleges, and the students were just out of this world. I never had to worry about learning Chinese because they knew English as well as I did. And I tried one day to say hello to someone in China, and I said the word, and everybody started laughing so hard, and I said, "What did I say wrong?" And the girl said to me in English, "You just told me I'm very beautiful and you love me." So I would love to go back, and I'm hoping I get to.
Yeah. Well, since you talk about going to China, what is your study abroad program like at University of Toledo? Where else can students go other than China?
We have excellent study abroad. They can go to Spain, they can go to England, they can go to South America. There is all kinds of unique opportunities for travel abroad, and a lot of times you can go over for a semester and earn college credit that applied towards your degree by doing study abroad. What study abroad, for me, I think the highlight is experience a culture that is so different from our own, and making friends and relationships. And hearing it's unique when you're in a different country and you talk to someone about a particular subject that might be near and dear to you, but to them it's totally different. And if you get a chance to do study abroad, I encourage it. I'll tell you a couple things happen to you. One is when you come back home, you really appreciate where you live and what you have, number one. And number two, it's like, this world is not so small after all. I mean, there are people with similar ideas and goals and passions, and the Chinese youth over there have the same feelings, the same goals, and that our young people have. They just don't have the same opportunities. In this country, when you graduate from high school, if you want to go for a particular profession, you can go for it. Over there, I found out that in your senior year of high school, during February and March, you spend almost 3 weeks testing. And then just before your graduation day, you're handed an envelope. And in that envelope is what you're going to do for the rest of your life in China. You have no choice. So if you have goals and you want to be a pharmacist in China, unless you test for it and make it, you may get a piece of paper and you may end up being a farmer. So that's kind of the big differences, and so we're blessed in the U.S. to be able to do that. But to study abroad broadens you. I mean, you realize we're not the only people on the planet.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go on to the next topic. Can you tell us about what the campus life is like at University of Toledo? Like, what are the dorms like and things like that?
Yeah, we have different style dorms. We have the traditional dorms. We have the dorms, which I call our pods, where you have a large central area for like a kitchen and living room, and then each person has their own bedrooms. Cool. We have done a lot of building over the last 10 years with new residence dorms. We have a new residence dorm that's going up. Will be open in September, and it's an honors dorm. So if you're a student who's in honors can do the honors thing. As I said earlier, you don't have to eat there. You can eat any way you want, what you like. Yeah. we have a wonderful student activity area with the swimming pools and all that kind of stuff that's available, that you can exercise and do all of that. That's available. Plus, with we having our own hospital system, we have a wonderful healthcare system on campus that if the students need that. But there's so much to do with all the sports. If you become a student with us, you can attend the games for free. A lot of different activities. You'll never be bored. If you're bored coming to our university, it's your fault, not ours, because we certainly provide the opportunities for the students to engage themselves. Mm-hmm. As I said earlier, you want that to be part of your educational experience too, other than all academic, because sometimes employers are looking for more out of an individual than just total academics.
Yeah. Can you tell us what sororities and fraternities that you guys have at the school as well?
I can't name them all, but we have lots of them, I'll tell you. That's probably a poor answer. I wish I would have thought about bringing my book with me. But we do have them, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of active Greek life on campus.
Yeah, do you know how many there are at least?
Not at the moment, no. But I will find out and let you know.
Okay. Do you have a question, Kevin?
What type of sports are offered? I mean, I'm sure football, basketball, anything else, or?
Well, yeah, we have, your track, we have the swim team, we have all the varsity sports, both male and female, but also about sports, there is the option for an individual to be actively involved in teams with their fellow students and compete against one another. So there's a whole big, call it intramural sports, but sports activity that's in the student center that if you think you got a great 3-man basketball team, there's others that are there and it's all organized as part of the campus activities.
Okay. Do you have a question about the extracurricular activities you said?
We actually covered that.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are going to talk about you now. What do you like to do in your spare time?
What? Okay. Be a grandpa. Mm-hmm. I have 11 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. Mm-hmm. So I love being grandpa. That's always fun to do. Yeah. You never know what they're going to do. I love playing house with I have 9 granddaughters, and I love playing house with the younger ones because they have an incredible way of imitating their mom and dad. And it's fun. In the summer and spring, I love golfing, and my wife and I, we have a date night every week. In the summer and spring, we go golfing, and we'll play golf after work or on a Saturday and have dinner afterward. In fact, last summer, she beat me for the first time. She got me, I bought her some new clubs, and wow, she did really well. And it wasn't that I played so poorly, is that she had a super duper day. In fact, I think twice that day she hit the flagpole on the green. Mm-hmm. And she's so cute, she said that one day, when she hit it the first time, she thought maybe she broke something and done something bad. And she asked me, she said, honey, is that a good thing I hit the flag? And I said, absolutely. We love to golf. We like to travel. My kids are in Chicago, Atlanta, and Cincinnati, so we get opportunities to travel and go see them. We golf and love to go to a good restaurant, have a good time. And also I'm a Catholic deacon in one of the local parishes there, so I'm busy on that side with working with families and kids. It's interesting. In that role, I will be, in the Catholic Church, the priests and deacons, we wear the chasubles and the rolls, and people will stop me in church and say, my son's thinking about coming to the University of Toledo. What can you tell me? And I'll look down and I'm like, okay, I'm not, and have conversations. And so that's another big part of our lives, the church.
Yeah.
Being active.
Yeah, that's good. Do you listen? What kind of music do you listen to? Like any specific kind of music?
I enjoy the 60s and 70s music, of course. I grew up with that.
Mm-hmm.
Love I have a kind of severe hearing loss, which has been all of my life. And so when I hear music singing, a lot of times I don't hear the words, but I hear the music. So I like the instrumental stuff. with the music, because otherwise I hear all the talking and it's like, until I learn the song, then I know what the words are. So it's kind of a unique thing. So I enjoy listening to instrumentals. I enjoy, like I said, the 60s and 70s music. You guys will probably laugh. You know, I like the Kenny Rogers and, you know, the Neil Diamond and those kind of things. And so, like I said, I'm in my 60s, so it kind of gives you away, you know, where I grew up in the 60s and 70s. And so some of my favorite. And also I enjoy Christian music, contemporary Christian music.
Okay. Do you have tips for students who want to apply to University of Toledo by chance?
How many can I give?
It doesn't matter. You can give like 3 or 4.
Yeah, there are a number, and I'll give you probably my top 3 or 4. And
That'll be good.
one is, and this has happened probably in the last, I want to say 7 to 8 years. And I don't know if students realize this now, but when I went to school, was you could go to a school, and if you had a terrible time for whatever reason, and wasn't quite ready for it, and you fell apart, so to speak. For example, in my sophomore year at the University of Toledo, my grandmother, who I was extremely close to, passed away. And I failed all my courses that semester, and for obvious reasons. But I went back and picked up and continued on. But there are others in the struggle. Then it used to be you could leave one institution and go to another one and start all over. The tip I have to say is those days are gone. Now, students, when you're in school, do the best that you can from day one, because your academic career follows you now. So if you apply, if you're at Lakeland and you decide to apply to an Akron or us at Toledo, or even Ohio State, they are going to go back and look at your past academic record and use it as part of the admission standards. So my biggest tip is do the best you can from day one, because it's going to be vital, because you may find yourself down the road want to get into a selective admission program. And I've seen this happen, and you have to meet a certain GPA or have some certain courses, and they go back and look, and because of what happened back here 4 or 5 years ago, they can't get in, you know, which is it's so important nowadays. Another tip is talk to your advisor on a regular basis, you know. If you're in college and you're struggling and having a hard time, go talk to somebody, you know, because every college, including Lakeland, we all have services that are there to assist students to do the best that they possibly can. We don't wander through the hallways looking for you.
Yeah.
You know, trying to find you. You know, it's an adult level, so you need to come to us. And so don't be afraid to do that, because you might be surprised the number of students that struggle. At the university, we have what's called success coaches. And we have over 40, and they all are assigned a number of students. And these individuals are specifically designed to help students get through. They're the advisor, then they're your success coach, and they are equipped in all the many services that we have. The other piece is, if you're working and you have family, I understand the concept of wanting to do full time, but as I talked about the first time, maybe you need to cut back a little bit and do well with what you have, you know. Being part-time is not necessarily a bad thing, but if you can go part-time and do well GPA-wise versus full-time and you're not doing well at all, in the long run, you know. And then the other piece is, you guys, you have it made now. You got DVRs, you've got Netflix, you got all this stuff, you know. Don't get behind. That's probably my other biggest rule that I tell students. Don't get behind. You can record all this stuff now, you know. Stay on track, because once you start getting behind, it's not just simply, well, I can catch up. Because what happens to you is it's exponentially, you get farther and farther and farther. 2 becomes 4, becomes 8, becomes 16, and all of a sudden you're so overwhelmed with what you have. Don't get behind. And the last one, I'll stop here. I've got tons of them. Always be willing to reinvent yourself. have the ability to reinvent yourself. I am now in my third career. I thought for sure I'd be in the same place, finished. You know, places close, the economy changes. And back in 97, I had to reinvent myself again, and I went back to school. And now I'm in higher ed, never dreaming that I would be at the higher ed level. Had I known this existed back 40 years ago, I would have went down this route. But be willing to reinvent yourself. And you know, you spend a third of your life working. A third of your life working. So it's important, I think, that you find a field that is in your liking, because if you work somewhere and you don't like it, it affects everything else. Families, everything. And you spend that much time working. You spend a lot of time sleeping too, but a third of your life is working. You want to take time and use the things that are available to you. If you don't know your career, you're normal. But use the services that are there to help you trying to find a pathway that comes down to your liking. And, you know, when you do surveys and stuff, be honest about what you feel. Because there are tools out there that say people who have these kind of tendencies tend to like these kind of positions. Take the time to find out. If you don't know, take the time to learn and find out what you want to do, because a third of your life to me is like, that's a lot. I've already worked a third of my life, that's what. And I mean that, and that's probably one of the big things that I say.
Just one quick question. Is there any like part-time jobs that students can have while they attend University of Toledo?
Yeah, we have lots of student campus jobs. Like I said, we have with 20,000 students. We have in a hospital, large university. There are lots and lots of opportunities for student work, which is a good thing to do.
Do you have any other questions, Kevin?
No, I do not.
Do you have questions for us at all?
Yes, when is the snow going to disappear?
I cannot answer that.
It's supposed to warm up this weekend. It's supposed to be in the mid-30s, so.
But who knows?
Yeah, it's Ohio.
Happen.
We could be getting snow in June.
We could be raining tomorrow for all we know.
No, that's true. No. I'm ready for spring. I mean, I'm ready to.
I'm ready for summer.
I'm ready to get my golf clubs out, and I live on the edge of a golf course. And so at night, when everybody's dying to go out, I'm anxious to get out there and start, practicing. So
one of my goals this summer is to learn how to golf. So
golf is a wonderful game because it's something you can take into your old age. You can take it with you. I mean, it is, and that sounds strange. But the other thing about golf, it's wonderful. My wife loves it as much as I do. So it's a couple thing that we can do, and when we make a date night out of it or a date day by golfing and then going out to eat and my wife is super competitive, and she's always trying to beat me. And she did. She beat me once this last summer, and she probably will this summer too. But it's a wonderful sport. It's not so much about chasing this little white ball or yellow ball down the course. It's that being outside, walking, conversations that we have. It's a wonderful couple sport, and I think a lot of couples fail these days to find something they both like that they can do together.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the success of my relationship with my wife Sal, is that we're each other's best friends, and you have to spend time with your best friend to get to know them. And golf is one of those ways that we do that. It really is. So, and we like the same food, so that helps too.
Yeah, definitely food. You can definitely thank food for anything you do.
Thank you for allowing me to come today, Sarah.
Yes, thank you
for
being
treat,
here.
Yeah,
absolute treat to chair.
And you said students can come see you at the transfer fair?
Yes, I will be at the transfer fair today, and if you would like to contact me, you can go to our website at utoledo.edu, find our adult transfer and military admission page. You'll find my information on there. My name is Doug Bullimore. The best way is to email me at douglas.bullimore@utoledo.edu. Love to talk to you about becoming a Rocket. We have lots to offer, and I love what I do. So I love talking to young people who share with me their dreams. And one last thing, in this position, what do I like about it so much, is that I have young people like you who will sit at my desk and share your biggest dreams with me. And sometimes I have mom and dad sitting on both sides, and mom and dad never heard any of this, and they're allowing me the opportunity to be part of that process. So it's a great responsibility for me to they get it right, help individuals find their pathway and have a career and enjoy what they're doing.
Okay.
Well, thank you again for being here.
It's been a delight. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right.
Effect Radio.
The internet is for some becoming an uncontrollable compulsion.
Spreading the infection at